I am not in the looking of adding any arts, but if your stuff inspires me, again, like I have to feel inspired. All right. I think we're good. Lagos. Take a huge gosh darn swig. Did you hydrate? Have you hydrated up recently? All right. We're in the Samuels. Oh, we're in 2nd Samuel. Right. Hmm. Actually, 1 second. Do. All right. After I'm done reading, my Polish friend, I will message my cousin David, who is a programmer and also does mods for Minecraft, and so maybe he'll be a good person to ask. Also, is making a couple of his games. Okay, well, we gotta read. You want music while I read? Okay, we'll just start reading. Christ, you are good and holy. Thank you. Thank you for today. Thank you that we can engage these visual arts. As you have written the code for Earth and is stable and not shaken, you have given us the ability and the gift to engage our works with the raw material you have given us. Thank you for delightful games like Sandboxes. And yeah, even delightful games like Tiny Rogues. And thank you for these visual arts that we can engage. We thank you for your death and resurrection. Thank you for being the God who steps closer to humanity, calling us to love and care for the other. No other Elohim, no other God out there like you. So as we read the writings of the ancients, please reveal to us what it means to them, and also in turn what it means now, and what the hell it means 21st century now, 2,000 years after your death and resurrection. And we just thank you. We thank you that what you done 2,000 years ago is continuing. It is advancing. The church is alive and ever present because of the work you've done. Amen. We'll see. David again assembled all the elite soldiers in Israel, 30,000 of them. David set off and went, he and the entire company with him, from masters of Judah to bring up from there God's chest, over which the name is proclaimed, the name of Yahweh armies, who sits enthroned on the cherubs. They mounted the chest on a new wagon and carried it from Abinadab's house on the hill, while with Abinadab's sons, Uzziah, that's probably the guy in who he gets killed later, and Eho, guy in the wagon. They carried it from Abinadab's house on the hill with God's chest, and Ohio going in front of the chest, and David and all the house of Israel celebrating before Yahweh with all cypress wood instruments, guitars, banjos, tambourines, rattles, and cymbals. When they came to Nazil's threshing floor, Uzzah reached out to God's chest and took hold of it because the cattle had let it slip. Yahweh's anger flared up at Uzzah, and God struck him down there because of the blunder. He died there by God's chest. David flared up because Yahweh had burst down at Uzzah. That place is called the burst at Uzzah till this day. But David was afraid of Yahweh that day and said, How can Yahweh's chest come to me? To David was not willing to direct Yahweh's chest to him in the city of David. So David diverted to the house of Obed-edom the Gittite. Yahweh's chest stayed at the house of Obed-edom the Gittite for 3 months, and Yahweh blessed Obed-edom and all his household. King David was told, Yahweh has blessed the household of Obed-edom and all that belongs to him because of God's chest. So David went and brought up God's chest from Obed-edom's house to the city of David with festivity. When the people carrying Yahweh's chest had taken up 6 steps, he sacrificed a bull and a fattened calf. David was dancing before Yahweh with all his might, and David was clad in a linen ephod. As David and all the household of Israel were bringing up Yahweh's chest with a shout and a blast on the horn. But when Yahweh's chest came into the city of David, Saul's daughter Michal was watching through the window, and she saw King David jumping and dancing before Yahweh and despised him inside. David said to Michal, "It was before Yahweh who chose me rather than your father and all his household to appoint me ruler over Yahweh's people, over Israel. I will celebrate before Yahweh and belittle myself yet more than this, and be low in my own eyes. But with the servant girls that you speak of, with them I will find honor." To Michal, Saul's daughter, no child was born to the day of her death. So he's established kingdom. He wants to bring Yahweh's chest. He didn't do it right the first time. And one thing about, especially when it comes to the temple and the Ark of the Covenant, you do it right. Yep. And so they didn't do it right. Someone got killed. And so then another time, he brought honor, reverence, and did it right. I read this during Holy Week. In my Bible study group this week, someone was expressing his unease with the way we speak of God sending his son to be crucified. Is comes to sort of masochist? This person is a hospice chaplain and often expresses his agonizing about the grim experience that comes to the people he ministers to and to their families. Why doesn't God stop such things happening? Why does God even make them happen in Jesus' case? In the Bible study, we battle this question back and forth. This young man knows that one of the things I will say in such a discussion is that the problem of good is surely even greater than the problem of evil. As I write, I look out on the sunshine and listen to a favorite CD and wrestle with obscure Hebrew words. I have strange passions. And look forward with enthusiasm to the arrival later today of my son and daughter-in-law and grandchildren who are coming to stay, even while also being aware of some sadness at the fact that my wife's death, 9 months last Sunday, means she will not be among us as we celebrate Easter together. Why should there be so much good in life? But yes, why do such bad things also happen? Who knows? In varying ways, David and Obed-edom are the recipients of God's blessing. And Uzzah and Michal have their lives taken away or spoiled, and none of them deserved it any more than most other people. David is God's chosen, he points out, but he is not so holy a person. Indeed, maybe pointing out that he is God's chosen was itself not much of a sign of holiness. The reality of his humanness comes out with great clarity in the story. 1 Samuel 4-5 tells of how the covenant chest ended up for a while at Kiriath Jearim, on the way from Philistine territory to Israel's heartland in the mountains. Masters of Judah is apparently another term for the same place. A rather worrying term given the connection of the word master, Baal, see the comments on chapter 3, verse 1 and chapter 4, verse 12, which might explain Yahweh's armies, who sits enthroned on cherubs. The story doesn't tell us why David wanted to move the covenant chest to Jerusalem, but it seems a fair guess that his motives were mixed. He is honoring Yahweh, but it's also another canny political move, a way of giving Jerusalem some status in the eyes of Israel as a whole and encouraging the whole people to be committed to the city as the religious as well as political capital. You ready? When they get to the city, David distributes food to everyone, which also won't have done any harm to their enthusiasm for the event. Yet the celebration and festivities with which he personally leads the whole people expressed heartfelt commitment to Yahweh on his part. When the accidents happen, God gets angry, and David gets angry but also fearful. God is a real person with real emotions. and so is David, and they have an overlapping range of emotions. When the chess journey resumes, offering sacrifice might be an expression of both thanksgiving and prayer. Obed Edom just happens to be in the right place at the right time to find himself the recipient of God's blessing. Admittedly, I guess it would not initially have seemed to be the right place at the right time. After the calamity happened to Uzzah, Obed Edom is unlikely enough to be the guy who lives across the street and to have his household commandeered by the king. I guess his heart sings, but he can't say but no thanks. Maybe that is especially the case if you're a Gittite, a man from Gath, and therefore a Philistine for goodness sake. There's another moment where Yahweh is at a non-Israelite house. The covenant chest was released at a non-Israelite house, and it was receiving blessing. Whatever led to your living in Kuritram, you know it could easily lose your visa. You have no alternative but to say, yes, your majesty, with a sense of foreboding. And then you find your whole household blessed. Your wife, who seemed unable to have children, gets pregnant. Your crops grow really well. On the other hand, poor Uzzah makes one understandable mistake with the best will in the world and loses his life. The story reminds Israel once more that you have to be careful in the way you relate to the covenant chest. Israel would have assumed that Uzzah should have known better than to grab the chest, but maybe no one had told him to be careful in this fashion, or maybe he just reacted instinctively in a way that might have been designed to honor the chest rather than treat it irreverently. At the end of the story, there is Michal, who has been the political football between her father and two husbands and has now been taken away from the one who cared about her and given to the one who doesn't know what love means. She lets her feeling about him find expression, and she gets as good as she gives. Then the storyteller tells us how she never did have children. It doesn't connect the dots, but it suggests the grief that characterizes her life as a whole. It will soon be Good Friday. To a Brit, it's odd. For several weeks, U.S. Christians have been assuring themselves that Christ is risen. I wonder if we want to avoid thinking about Jesus' experience of abandonment and woe and unfairness in execution because we want to avoid thinking about those realities that run through human experience. Is that wise? The Bible is resolute about facing them. So, in the Bible, there's lots of suffering. And the scriptures is always ready to engage them. Not draw away, not to be fearful of them. All right, friend, we can start. All right, let me message my cousin, see if he is available. I don't know what his experience is. First, are you there, Inland Warrior, before I message him? Because if he shows up and you're not around, that'll be embarrassing. Okay, you're still here? Cool. All right. All right, I just pinged him. Let's see if he responds. All right. Are they gunslinger? All right. Stick. Oh wait, I was trying the mystic.
How is that
Right.
mistake?
Defeat Eden in the high heavens as the wizard. Oh, well, thank you. I just didn't know. So I've done that before though, where I've like pinged someone, someone on stream, like, hey, I know someone who might have the answer, and then that person's gone. Like, oh well. Did I accidentally pop one? Okay. Yeah, I'm down. Also, I think my cousin's probably going home right now, so. Oh, that happened. Oh. Huh. That's good to know. So, what is the high temperature? I mean, if it's just 100 Fahrenheit, which being American, I have to like look up the variable between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Oh. Headphones. Oh, okay. So, there is forge type of heat. Oh yeah, but I didn't know it was that sensitive. Oh, darn it. Oh, where should I go? That's a that's a big oops. A pyromancer. Burn, burn, burn. Burn, burn, burn. Hmm. That's some very interesting facts. Thank you. What? Expect to follow me as such. Man, that thing hunted me down. Alright. Hmm. Anyway, for me, I like to show like my ignorance. I can't. I don't even know what a superconductor is. Like I could talk about you Hebrew and Greek and deep metaphysical theological thought, but I don't. Yeah, that's one area that I don't have not put my head towards. Oh. Oh, okay. Other magnets float. That's cool. Oh my gosh. All right. Making all the mistakes this run. Last night and this morning, I felt pretty good. So the big robot enemy comes, it's literally one of the senders. Okay, see if I can still salvage this run. Yeah. They just throw you random bosses. I can't honestly tell you. Oh, this one is from the Neanderthal period. Yeah. But the one that always invades is because of a sender. There's a chance of him invading when I'm fighting mooks. Sounds like a good troll friend. Unless you're like me, where you're trying to figure out buttons and you do that. I was once in a random PUBG tournament and we're driving down and like, yeah, this guy's like, do this, and I press the button and it kicks me off the vehicle. Oh, that was embarrassingly funny. The good shop. Where the good people go. Oh. Like when people, back when I used to play Counter-Strike Source, and people would say, hit Alt F4 for fancy lady pictures. Oh. Whew, I had a huge lunch, so my brain and my body just like. Brrr. So press 0 for all the loot. Check. Oh. Man, I keep. There are oofers over here reporting to duty. I'm guessing in the boss that you have to be like prepared to like instantly dodge the moment you see him. Sound like a great person to play lit. No wonder why your friend threw grenades under your feet. Sounds like a fair game to me. I smite thee, O skeletons. I am not doing hot. Ah. Hmm. Curious. Do I still trigger it even when mana burn out? Alright, lesson learned. When mana burn out, you do not trigger said things. Hmm. Okay. That's cool. Alright, it's time to pick up the trash. Clean up on aisle 5. And I am not. Yeah, I don't know if my friend back there will even play. Even play if I start a game and start off with some trolling. Oh. The good shops. Huh. Yeah. My days off are ending in 4 days. Oh. Didn't know you had plural days off. Is it still winter break for you? People here have been out of school for been back in school for a while. Oh, it's spring break for you? What? No. What? Spring break for us is, gosh, March? Oh, man. Yeah. Sorry. How much I like you. You're kind of garbage. Hmm. The United States does that on purpose. Like different regions have different dates on spring break. Hmm. Oh man. Oh, he pinged. He pinged back. I bet my Discord oofed it. Actually, let me. Oh yeah, it's doing that. Oh, there we go. I think my Discord randomly makes so like I can't hear people. So if
that
you,
would explain it.
yeah, if you hopped on, when he's like, when he said when you're ready to talk, I was like, that probably explains it.
Yep.
How are you, friend?
So, I'm doing all right. Finally got started with that new project. It is unfortunately exactly the clerical work I feared it was. However, it does look like I will be able to either automate or at least greatly streamline it.
Oh.
Just with the work I've done so far, I've taken it down from something that would take most of the day to get to process one of the documents to maybe 30 minutes on the long side.
Okay. This with the current company?
Yeah.
They gave you more responsibilities.
More got transferred to another project just because there's not a ton left to do in the one I've been on.
Okay.
I got excited about it for a bit because it's with Collins, and there was some other stuff leading up to this that made it really sound like it was going to be that one that's in Oregon, but it's not.
Aww.
Yeah.
So when you say like got that project, it's like I think he's talking about that one where he's talking about moving back here.
But no, I got faked out pretty badly there. Still.
Whose fault? Who?
It is the same client. So yeah, it's very possible, especially if if it's through my efforts that we end up finishing this way ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I can get transferred to that one sooner than later. We'll see.
There's hire you up straight. We like that guy. Let's just hire him.
Because they seem to think this project's going to last through August. Not. There's no way. Like, at the current rate of things, if I pushed, I could probably finish it solo by the end of, I don't know, May.
Oh, okay. So they're thinking it'll take all year, and then you're thinking to be done by May, you said?
Yeah, personally, I think I could finish it by May, yeah.
Okay.
Though that is, of course, depending on reviewers getting back to me quickly with stuff and all that jazz.
So it's a group project.
I mean, yeah, they all are.
Yeah.
It is corporate work.
So I beat the game twice so far with 16 senders.
Oh, nice.
Without cheese. It was very easy to cheese when they had this kind of bloodstone that you take hearts to get experience. But the catcher is, it used to be if you had a soul heart, you could just keep on adding experience. It just won't stop. It'll just keep on taking chunks against you and will never take the soul heart.
Yeah, that's a bug.
Yeah. And so they definitely have fix that out. I no longer can. Which I'm kind of happy because that cheese, like it was nice at first, but like most cheese, it just makes the game not fun anymore when the challenge is stripped away.
That said, there's definitely still things you could pull off with that bloodstone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what? Yeah, is it a activated item?
No.
Event?
It's an event.
Okay.
All
So
right.
you can't bank on finding it in any given run.
Yeah. All right. Also, Edelon Warrior, who's been a regular on the stream, he had a map question which led to the first ping of you. A coding question. It is with chat. Come back. Hammer SDK. Have you ever used Hammer SDK?
No, I have not used Hammer SDK.
Okay. Because he has the question about like how to get back to that. Something about damage, how to register getting damage. He's there. All right, Eldion, I'm having a hard time reading chat.
No, that unfortunately this isn't something I'd be able to help with other than some very vague advice like taking damage is almost certainly going to be an event of some sort. But yeah, it looks like Hammer SDK is essentially something released by it's a development environment released by Valve. It looks like it's primarily meant for making 3D games, probably generally in the same vein of your Team Fortress 2s or Call of Duties or the like.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, that's the sort of thing where someone who hasn't worked with that specific thing is not going to have a ton of useful advice.
Makes sense. What's up, Game Legend? Okay. So yeah. So it has its own kind of UI, and unless you have poked that UI, it's not
especially an engine-specific question like how do I detect when they've taken damage? That's not something I could really answer without having used that particular program, development environment.
That makes sense. But yeah, dude, so I've decided that back on Tiny Nights, I've decided that going for the fully upgraded like Broken Hero sword is just not worth it. It's like better to have to start the game off with dice, so you get a little bit more like control what rooms you get.
Makes sense, especially since a fair number of the embers make it so that there's more bad doors.
Yeah.
While I was playing that game, I found I really liked the Soul Scarf because that meant I could, instead of spending my souls to get like maybe 2 or 3 extra hearts max health over the course of the game, like a good dozen or more soul hearts.
Makes sense. I feel like though, like I tried it and you can replace the soul scarf. Like you get pushed a lot of times to replace that.
Oh yeah, feel free to just swap it out. But just keep it in your inventory. Because when you reach the bonfire, you can just switch to the scarf, re-attune it, which is done for free.
Oh, okay.
Do whatever spinning you want to, and then switch back to whatever your usual accessory is.
They actually took away the re-attuning at that bonfire.
Oh, dang.
So I guess there goes that strat. They're catching on. So you have to earn the tuning. Like if it spawns on you in boss, it's automatically attuned. If it's been one area without it, then you have to do the X amount of areas to tune it. All right, see you back. Oh gosh, I thought hitting Windows would make the game pause.
Yeah, at least when it still worked. It made the +1 flask node really powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think also the reason why, because at that time I was focusing on the depraved, and you only start with 1 heart container, and so it made it almost useless. The soul scarf.
Oh, soul scarf it's great in those contexts, because when you're like that, instead of trying to live off your health bar, you just live off soul hearts.
But that's if like you're in an area, I don't know, that when you're in the area where you have to have the soul hearts before, and it was like really like if I'm in a space where I'm losing like my soul heart to my heart, I'm in a tough pickle, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a strategy that expects that you're not taking very much damage until the late game.
Mm-hmm. How's the day treating you, Game Legend? Armor of Thorns. That's a fun name. But the gun, so I had a run with a gunslinger, which every crit, every lucky hit gives you a repeated attack. And so I was doing lots of lucky hit repeated attacks with also like all the infusion bonuses. It was delightful. I know. Have you been playing Tiny Rose at all, or you just been focusing on the PAL world?
Actually, most of the Lobotomy Corp as of late.
Oh.
Yeah. Basically had to restart the game because I had apparently screwed something up in the final stretch that kind of locked me out of the good ending. But even with the restart, there's a lot of progress that does get saved. And so blasting through that stuff again really wasn't too bad, and it gave me an opportunity to make my facility into a horde of like 50 badasses.
Huh.
So I'm in the final stretch again. All of my units are ridiculously good, and there's a couple who are nigh immortal. So, barring instant death effects, which is Lobotomy Corp, there are a lot of instant death effects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, things generally aren't too rough. But still, it's not going to be trivial. Because there are definitely shenanigans in the late game that can punch through any amount of stacked numbers.
The last part, how many people died on you?
Okay, so I got to the final sequence again without any deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had powerful people. I had no excuse accepting death at that point.
Mm-hmm.
On the first day... Well, on the first day of the final sequence, which is day 46, I lost one guy. Well, 2 guys. Yeah, I lost 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I accepted that is because it is a long slog of a mission. And neither of them were particularly important as far as it goes. Also, I happen to have 3 more people or properly trained up and stuff, then I actually had room to deploy. So,
Hmm.
I'm currently on the second day of the final sequence. This one is relatively short, and its gimmick, well, dangerous, is pretty easy to deal with it as long as you're slow and methodical. So I intend to get through this one without casualties.
Oh.
Yeah. The main risk is just when you get near the end of the day 47, which is the second day in this final sequence. Your units take massive penalties to all their stats. This combined with the uncertainty of what kinds of work you're telling them to do, and the severely blurred user interface means that it's very easy to make dumb mistakes. And since your people have been crippled, those dumb mistakes are likely to kill them. So, gotta be cautious. Means that the enemies that spawn are a lot more dangerous than that you'd expect them to be. But, I mean, I've got a plan to deal with it. It's basically just going to use Little Red and the rabbits to do the fighting for me, because they're not crippled, because they're not technically my employees.
How do you get them?
Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to boot up the game. So, the rabbits are something that every facility ends up getting. You unlock access to them when you unlock the disciplinary department, or rather, when you complete it. The rabbits are mercenaries that will take a portion of the energy you've generated for the day in exchange for locking down and killing everything within some portion of your facility, as directed. Unfortunately, they do mean everything. So, clear your dudes out first.
I see.
Also, sometimes they don't quite respect the bounds of the department you told them to go exterminate. That can get a little sketchy. Little Red is one of the anomalies that you can contain. She's a pretty safe one as far as things go, though she can make catastrophe worse, because if 3 other anomalies break out, she follows suit. And she will consider the first living thing she encounters as her quarry.
So is she like perpetually living in Little Red Riding Hood? Like everything's a big bad wolf, or?
I mean, she very much wants to kill the wolf, which is unfortunate because I also have the wolf in my facility and he's really close to her room.
Oh.
But if they cross paths, the other one immediately breaks out, and it usually results in them fighting in the hallways. It's dangerous to everyone involved.
I see. So is it?
But anyway, so she'll break out if too many other anomalies escape, but if she hasn't chosen to break out yet, you can hire her to go seek a specific thing.
Hello, kind gentlemen.
Ooh.
Hello.
Hello, Logan.
What class are you playing, Corey?
The Knights.
Ah.
So I beat the game yesterday. Last night with the no cheese.
Don't. Is it spoilers?
No, I'm just telling you
Okay.
what I beat it with. I don't think there's a spoiler there.
Wait.
Okay. Who did I beat it? So I beat it last night with Canon. Which one was it? Gosh, my brain is skipping a beat. Oh yeah, so it was a doppelganger, and with the doppelganger, I forgot what class, but it didn't really matter. But pretty much I just dropped bombs, lots of bombs. And then
Love bombs.
16 cylinder, so I was pretty proud of that. No cheese.
Nice.
And then I beat it this morning with the ranger, who gets the gunslinger on me, who gets repeats on lucky hits. And I got Excalibur, which Excalibur, if you fully update it, It's like you get your, if you fully upgrade to level 4, it then transforms to the true Excalibur, which is secondary attack is like, it's like 3 spikes at home and they'll go across the map.
And almost as importantly, true Excalibur stats are roughly equal to a +4 Excalibur, but it is considered an unupgraded weapon. And so you can give it another round of upgrades.
Yeah. Well, I know when I'm building my next build around. So right now I have the knight. I don't have too many blocks, which I'll work on. But I just got the weapon called the Precious VBFG.
Yeah, I've used that before.
I just...
You got it really early.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I had,
Where's the
some,
boots are currently spawned? Justice or what they
I
are.
had some crazy legendary weapon that just, like, super late game would just obliterate everything. Bosses, whatever.
Yeah.
It was a rechargeable one.
Even on 16
like that
Sen, because I feel like any legendary weapon on normal without cylinders would just obliterate any boss.
Well, no, I think I was on Cinder 16.
Nice.
And it was just this giant laser beam that like lasted a few seconds, but and recharged.
It'll stay put and hit him multiple times.
Yeah,
Nice.
it like 1 shots or 2 shots bosses. It's the craziest weapon I touched.
Yeah, I don't do cursed damage. Yeah, it looks like I'm selling. The good shop.
Oh boy, time to buy your way to heaven.
Have you faced off Bahamut yet?
Yeah.
I have fought all the in-game bosses, yes.
Okay. Does this take mana? Oh, it does. And his nature take mana. Okay. Have you gone down the middle pit?
I was under the impression that the middle pit is not accessible yet because that's the next DLC.
Oh, is it? Okay. I didn't know that.
Oh.
I have not faced off against Eden yet.
I've defeated the 3 the 3 afterlife bosses.
Okay.
But I'm going to guess that the Pit of the Abyss is going to be the one that requires you to be chaotic to actually proceed. Just because that's the only alignment left.
I have not seen that yet, but then I've done Shadow, Hell all the way through, and now I'm working my way towards.
Alright. Alright. In the Lobotomy Corp here. To start this day off, I'm pretty much just working with my most dangerous anomalies because they produce the most energy. And
so you could choose what anomaly to start off against.
It'll make more sense if you pull up the screen because I'm currently sharing.
All right, I'm watching.
Alright, so as mentioned, right now I'm just kind of repeatedly working with Nothing There and Blue Star because they produce lots of energy, but they're dangerous.
So you're
Since late,
so you create the anomaly and then you contain them. That's how the game works to get your energy, kind of.
You, yeah, over the course of any given day, I mean, yeah, after various days, you'll have opportunities to capture new anomalies. Yeah, and they get added to your facility. As you can see, I have a couple. For the most part, they are stuck in their boxes, though some of them have mechanics that do force you to pay some attention to them. Like Parasite Tree, if you work with others too much without giving it attention, it starts mind controlling people and reeling them in to work with it by force.
Oh.
Which is not ideal, because if too many different people work with the Parasite Tree, it will turn them all into saplings. So you want to have somebody who just regularly works with it. In my case, is Kamel here.
Okay. So he's working with it in the hallway below it. So that's
now right now he's just chilling out there. I don't have any works currently happening. So I'm going to go ahead and have Owen start his work on the Blue Star. So as he works with it, you'll see these two bars filling up. That's because Blue Star has a maximum of 33 energy it can produce, which means 33 work checks will occur. Each success or failure is marked here, and with each failure, Owen will take some amount of white, which is sanity damage. Owen's immune to sanity damage, so that's fine, and that's why he's doing this work, despite the minus 30 I'm eating for repeated works right now. But actually, it looks like it's about time to do more work with the Parasite Tree. So, yeah. Alright, now, the meltdown counter did just fill up from that last work, which means one of my anomalies, apparently censored, is melting down. If I don't work with censored within 70 seconds, he will break out. Let's see.
So this game, it seems like it requires like lots of pausing, like FTL.
Doesn't require it, but it is a lot easier. And indeed, some of the more difficult days to come involve limiting your pause your feature.
Interesting.
Okay. Actually, so I believe Insight's the work that works well with him, which means I need to actually select attachment, because again, this is the day where all my work types are jumbled, and at the moment, I've been able to determine that that's how the jumbling is.
So you select one, but actually the other's happening. That's what you mean by jumbled? Like, up is down, left is right?
Yeah, every time an ordeal happens, and that'll happen soon, it gets reshuffled, but at the moment, it appears that Attraction and Insight are switched. Well, Insight and Repression works are still what they claim to be. I have an anomaly up here, Child of the Galaxy, who is really safe to work with any of the different work types, and so I'm using him to figure out what's happened after each shuffle. So in order to clear this particular day, I gotta get through 6 meltdowns, and I need to get my whole energy quota. Which, again, since things are going to get real messy later, I want to get as much of that energy quota out of the way now before it's actually going difficult to do safely. I will not be able to work with any of these once that debuff happens, because Blue Star will simply devour any worker who takes too long working with him, and anyone who does a poor job working with Nothing There similarly gets devoured. But in Nothing There's case, he will also transform into a clone of that employee, leave his chamber, and appear somewhere else, pretending to be them until he kills someone. Which, it's not ideal. This is very much a game of learning how all of your anomalies work and how to not piss them off.
Yeah.
But since they get introduced one at a time, it's not nearly as overwhelming as it sounds like it is when I'm just trying to dump it all on you at once.
Yeah. I'll say, it's like, I imagine you've been playing this for a good bit, especially if you're playing it back when you're in back home. So.
It's a long game. Of course, been doing other stuff too, but
Mm-hmm.
looks like you get 3 more work operations, and then the Dawn ordeal will start.
This is my first time working with this legendary gun.
Oh, which one?
The BFG.
See.
So now I think if I'm gonna build around this gun, I need explosion, power, and fire boost. I guess I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, that's a BFG. Not worrying about your mana supply.
Nah. There's like moments like right now where it's good to pause.
Okay, so the second of the complications for this day has come online. As you can see, I no longer can.
So second day complication, how can you tell oh, whoa. It's a pixelated. I'll be building my stream quality right now if it wasn't for you telling me the complications are happening.
Yep. Okay. Also, I've got Hostile,
Oh.
the Black Fixer.
Is he
honestly,
is he
this guy
anomaly? Is he anomaly or just straight up just trying to wants to fight you?
he wants to fight me. So the way our deals work is that either an anomaly or an intruder gets into the facility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's various ones it could be, but they're separate from the ones that are in our chambers. And well, they're threats, so you got to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
In the case of the Black Fixer, he does, as the name implies, heavy amounts of black damage, which damage both health and sanity.
Okay.
But he's also going to try to break various other anomalies out. Unfortunately for him, he's around a whole bunch of my safest ones. Other than Sensor, it'd be really bad if he decided to go after that one. But he's not going to make it that far regardless.
So you're just engaging him. You're just sitting everyone out to fight him.
Yeah. Unlike the other fixers, and the fixers are the specific ones who will show up during these final days, and they're just a lot more dangerous than most other ordeals that could happen. But unlike a lot of the other fixers, Black Fixer is not honestly that dangerous during the fighting itself.
Mm.
He's mostly dangerous because of his ability to be a very sore loser. These are all melting down now.
So melting down means he is breaking, he breaks out all the other.
Meltdown is the precursor to a breakout.
Mm.
Yeah. So, see how they all have that 68 over their titles?
Yeah.
Means they're going to break out in that much time. Fortunately, they're all scrubs, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal if it happened. I don't want it to, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, mostly because I have other anomalies that get uppity when anomalies break out.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just assign work to these two because the consequences for screwing up aren't too bad.
You really gotta know what each marker is in this old pixelated MS.
Yep. Okay, so insight. Well, instinct is actually insight, and attachment is actually instinct. That's good to know. Pitape only responds well to instinct work. And all-around helper work responds well enough to instinct work, so alright, got these covered. And I just had her take the Heart of Aspiration, because yeah, it's an item that somebody can carry around, and it just kind of makes them hard to kill. Yeah, and its only drawback, if you can really call it such, is that if you return the item before you take any damage, you die. So, that's fine, because Mouse is one of my best combatants. She will be involved in the fights to come.
So do you return it to Anomaly?
Yeah, once I'm done with the heart, I would just have her return it to here to put it away. Okay, anyway, so check those two. Let's see what's up with insight work. Alright, so insight is actually attached. Okay, I know how the mix-up is now. Great. Anyways, Mouse, I'm going to have you go talk to the Knight of Despair. Because one of her gimmicks is that the first person to productively work with her for the day is marked as her champion. Her champion is not able to do other works. However, they take half damage from everything except for pale damage, which is basically true damage. It does make true damage twice as deadly, but there's only one enemy that might show up today that does pale damage, and I can just not have her fight that one. Anyways, now that I figured out what's wrong with the day, it's time for me to continue grinding away that energy. Because I can tell that the horrible debuffing hasn't happened yet, because in the blur beside where everyone's stats is, I can still see that they have blue bonuses to all their stuff instead of red malices. Can't tell what the heck the actual numbers are, though. For all I know, they're already partially debuffed, but however much that partial debuff is not enough to stop them. Not yet. Oh, I'm surprised you accepted that curse. I do not like taking curse.
I didn't have any keys. Run before, I didn't have any keys, and I had accept the curse.
Well, yup. Such is life, I suppose. Yeah. And Punishing Bird is pecking someone in the head again. It happens, you just don't worry about it. It's far worse if you do.
So you just let it do its thing?
Yup. Punishing Bird does very little damage, but it will constantly break out, to the point where other entities that react to breakouts have an exception to ignore the Punishing Bird doing stuff. And as long as you just let it peck someone in the head for a bit and go home, it's fine. It'll just head back to his cell after a bit. If you fight back, it gets a lot worse very quickly.
I'm guessing there's no way to, like, you're trying to keep the anomaly, so there's no reason to really banish them. You're just trying to always contain them, kind of ordeal.
Well, I can't kill them. Even if I do lethal damage during a breakout, they'll just reappear in their cell. But suppressing them after such a breakout is oftentimes necessary. Anyways, as best I can tell from my horribly blurred out bar, it looks like the other ordeal's happening pretty quick. That should be the last ordeal for the day, unless I'm quite unlucky. But it's going to be two of those fixtures from before, though not necessarily another black one. We will see which fixtures showed up this time. Some are worse than others. Okay, well, no point in putting this off further. Okay, we've got the white fixer. Admittedly, not my favorite to deal with in this context because of the debuffs. So her shtick is, she tends to throw around very large clouds of insanity draining gas. And
Hmm.
in addition, she will periodically pray to the idol that she carries around with her. And while she's doing so, any damage that would be dealt to her is dealt to the agent who tried to hurt her.
So where is she?
She is currently in the records department in the hallway.
Okay. That's her. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right underneath the Dream of a Black Swan.
How do you take care of her?
Yeah, if my people were at full strength, my strategy would basically just be to drop the whole facility on her, and then whenever she starts praying, have them leave the room for a sec, wait for her to stop, and then go back to beating her up.
I see.
And when she...
Do you get any information of this before the thing, or you just literally like figure it out as you go?
You know, with the various anomalies, once you've worked with them a bit, you get access to their dozers. I'm not sure how to pronounce that word.
Dossier.
The-
Dossier.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah, those. Yeah, and those will tell you what you need to know about dealing with the anomaly.
I see.
When it comes to anything from an ordeal, you just got to figure it out.
I see.
Okay, and there's gonna be one other punk around here. Considering I heard sounds of violence. Yep. Okay, so Red Fixer. He's really one of the more straightforward of the threats who could have showed up.
Hmm.
He stabs and shoots people. It's all physical damage. Unfortunately, yet another complication for today is at about this point, at least I think it comes online at this point, my people lose the ability to heal, which Owen's a regeneration tank, and normally he's my counter to this guy.
Hmm.
So that might get a little messy.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I could let Liz do the fight for a bit and then tag out. She is highly red resistant, and red's the physical damage type.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned all of them at this point, but to recap, your red is physical, white is sanity, black is both, and pale is true damage.
Okay.
It only affects the health, not sanity. However, it is % health damage, and most armor is really bad against it.
Hmm.
There's a handful of exceptions, and those exceptions are important. Alright, so my plan for today. You know what? Yeah, we can probably take that one on our own easily enough.
Some of you will
But
die, and that is a sacrifice I am willing.
I am not willing to make.
No, I was quoting Shrek. Some of you will
Yes.
die.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have invested far too much in you lot for me to allow you to perish. So, it is forbidden. Alright. So my biggest concern when it comes to dealing with Red Fixer here is that when he dies, he fires off his chest laser in a fairly long, continuous shot, and flails it wildly, kinda all over the place, punching through walls and whatnot.
Hmm.
With everybody having each in their stat penalties, I don't trust that they would survive getting hit by that.
Hmm.
So,
So how are they having a stat penalty right now?
yet another one of the complications of today. But
Hmm.
as you can see, looking at Mouse's blurred up screen here,
Hmm.
all of her stats except her vitality have red, supposedly numbers beside them, denoting that there's a malice in play.
Hmm.
Her vitality should also be penalized, but Mouse has a lot of extra hit points.
Hmm.
So apparently, even after the penalty, she's still in the blue.
So these are like all your workers are kind of like superhumans to deal with
Uh,
all these anomalies. It
Most
sounds-
of them are at this point, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna have Mouse help out with this. I'm gonna have Owen move over there for the moment. And we're going to have Liz actually fight him for a bit. Yeah, we're just gonna have you guys run past. Unless he breaks out the chest laser instantly, that'll be fine. And if he breaks out the chest laser instantly, you're not getting out that hallway in time anyways. So if he doesn't, it's fine. If he does, you're screwed regardless.
Very good chance because enemies affected by damage over time. Thermorite energy does diffusion.
Anyways,
Oh, this is not
Yeah,
damage
yeah.
over time.
you can see that the White Fixer has released her horrible gas. She is murdering the clerks.
Hmm.
I can't control the clerks, so I can't tell them to run away. It's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of how it is.
Hmm.
Oh, actually, this is a way. Is my healing? I could have swore that healing should have been disabled by now. Maybe that starts next meltdown. Well, I'll take it. Means a much easier fight for Liz.
I was searching my games and I was hearing choo choo, like all these shots and stuff like that, and I was like, how is that sound going in my game?
No, that would be the ongoing murder fest. Yeah, give you a little red shield for a bit. You know, I've cleared everyone out. I don't really want to deal with the White Fixer myself right now. Let's clear you guys out a little bit further just to be safe. Alright, activate Rabbit Protocol.
You're gonna use your super killers.
Yeah, so the rabbits just took 25% of the energy that I've generated thus far today. Because
Where's the rabbit?
yeah, I have them dealing with one department. By summoning them, barricades have been erected at the exits of the department.
Mm.
The White Fixer will not be able to leave.
Mm.
All the clerks are already dead thanks to the White Fixer, so there's not any collateral damage. So this is about the perfect time to use them.
Are the clerks, are they gone bad now since they're dead? I see red. I thought those red guys right there in the middle of the hallway.
No, these are the rabbits.
Those are your rabbits. Oh.
They've come to grace the grass.
Yeah, they don't look like someone you mess with. Okay. So the some of them takes 25% of your energy, and you got them through an anomaly?
Oh, no. So summoning the rabbits eats 25% of my energy. It's not an anomaly, it's a contract with mercenaries.
I see.
And I can call them in once a day.
Okay.
The anomaly I have that has a similar role is Little Red over here,
Okay.
who, it's rather blurred out right now, but attachment work has been replaced with hiring her for work.
Hmm.
Yeah, she, much like the rabbits, takes some amount of energy in order to hire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she'll run off and stab whoever I tell her to.
Okay. So you got the rabbits and her just in case the things are nasty and you need.
Need assistance, yeah.
Hmm.
The rabbits you get as part of the story. Little Red's just one of the anomalies you can get, so it's very possible to just not have her.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, anyways, the fight I gotta pay attention to is over here. Okay, and that thing's gonna die momentarily, so Liz, start getting away.
So when it
Oh,
dies,
you-
that's when it sends out the flail?
The flailing laser, yeah.
Right.
And off he goes. Hopefully he doesn't splatter too many rabbits along the way. That'd be unfortunate.
Oh, so that's the flail?
That's his laser attack that he's flailing about, yeah.
And so, okay. So
Yeah.
it could strike through.
Yeah, there's a reason I had everybody crowding over to the east side of the
I see.
facility.
Does it,
And I think I'm just
does it generally shoot to the left?
no, it shoots in whatever direction he was facing when he dies.
I see.
And since he had been facing left when the final blow was struck,
Yeah.
that's the way it shot.
Okay.
All right, might as well watch the fight against the White Fixer.
Oh wow, the rabbits are having a hard time even. And that's the prayer person, right?
Yep. You heard that just ringing noise and see how suddenly there was a bunch of damage over the rabbits?
Yeah.
Yeah. Might lose a couple of them.
Do they come back next time you hire them, or they're dead?
Yeah. Yeah, the rabbits have a new crew after each encounter. All right, and now it's done. They're out.
And they're mercs. So that's how the that's how the merc life be.
Yep. Once there's no hostiles alive in the area, they leave.
And they say thank you for the money or energy.
Yep.
I guess the energy is the currency in this game.
Yeah. Well, it's large amounts of energy in nice convenient containers, and so it can be used to power their weapons. It can be traded to others. It's a work agreement. Not sure why Little Red wants it, but Okay, so now I just gotta get my energy filled back up so I can end the day. So there you are. Gotta figure out what the new work types are. Okay, so attachment is instinct.
Do you know when it says 10 primary attacks, is that when my attacks hit them 10 times, or is it 10 shots?
That would be 10 shots.
10 shots, okay. That's what I thought. Just thought,
Yeah. If it were hits, it would say something like 10 hits with primary attacks.
That makes sense.
Okay, so do. Is it going to be exactly the same as what it was last time? I suppose if so, that's kind of convenient, but yeah, that's the exact same mixture as before. That's surprising, but okay.
Come on, game.
Densely, now that there's the possibility of things melting down that most people can't deal with, I'm going to take some of my people who are specialized in doing high difficulty work and spread them out so they can do that if need be. Okay.
Oh, 100% crushing damage. Oh, man. The numbers.
Yeah.
Consistency. I had to take half my encumbrance, but it's totally worth it.
The Snow Queen is honestly almost my entire game plan for this final bit. She only really responds well to insight work. She responds very well to it. So even with my people functioning at limited capacity, I can consistently get good amounts of energy out of her with almost no risk.
Which one is the Snow Queen?
This one up here.
Okay.
So her mechanics are that whenever you have sometimes when you have a neutral result at work, or always when you have a bad result, she will embed a small shard of ice in the employee's chest.
Hmm.
Yeah, if this would happen a second time, she instead freezes them in place, trapping them within her cell. In this case, the next person who would work with her will instead attempt to free them, which has a chance to succeed depending on their fortitude.
Hmm.
On success, the trapped employee is freed, and they leave. On failure, they both die. Snow Queen is really safe for this because A, insight work just works really well, and so the odds of things getting bad are low. And second, she gives that warning shot of putting the ice shard in their chest, which doesn't have any detrimental effects on its own.
So you just gotta leave when you hear the warning sound of the embedded icicle happening, or yeah. Okay.
Well, so by a bad result, I don't just mean like a single bad box. I mean, I suppose you can't see it from here, but every anomaly has different ranges of overall results that get put into 3 categories: good, neutral, or bad. So obviously, a full 18's a good result. I think with her, I want to say 14 to 18 is good results, and then neutral and bad are somewhere below that. Looks like I screwed up with the parasite tree, and someone else worked with it. Oh well. He's not. But yeah. So between the low risk of her giving the shards at all, and the fact that once they receive a shard, I could just have someone else work with her, she's about as low risk an anomaly as I could have in these conditions. While still getting good amounts of energy per work operation.
Is she random or is she story?
All anomalies are random.
Okay.
So, well, with the exception of one sin and hundreds of good deeds, he's always the first anomaly you get. But yeah, all the others are randomly acquired. You get to choose from a couple, but since all you get is a quotation that is related to the anomaly, you're not always sure what exactly you're letting into your base.
Okay, what is my good? Oh, I'm pure good. So good, +5. Can't get as good as me.
The goodliest boy.
Yeah. Just start packing up those mana for all the damage. Right. If you give me explosion, also makes them burn, I'll be very thankful. Game is not been wanting to give me the skill I wanted.
The one that would really make it all come together.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the enemies are still dying pretty fast.
Oh yeah. But bigger numbers. One of my favorite weapons. Just
the gun shock.
Have you read his description?
No.
This weapon is also considered ranged and a gun.
Oh. Nice. It has all of the keywords.
Look. That's just ridiculousness.
It's beautiful.
Oh. I was serious. If I would have gotten that before this, I would have built my whole thing around that.
I mean, it's so easy to build for because so many things will give it multipliers. Okay, it's hard to tell, but I think I've got 2 more operations before the next meltdown. Okay, what's melting down? The Portrait of Another World. Alright, that's about as benign a meltdown as we could have. And the Shelter from the 27th of March. Nice! Got very lucky there. Okay, so both of these are tool type anomalies rather than anomalies that I can actually do energy work with. The first is the Portrait of Another World. Whoever works with it, will get linked to a second employee, and any damage that would be taken by the first is instead done and increased to the second. Not a good thing, but since I've already done all the fighting I think I'm going to need to do today, not the end of the world so long as I have someone who I'm not doing much with. Is the one who works with the anomaly. The other is the Shelter from the 27th of March. Honestly, I think this one's fun. Though it's not going to do much today. So, the Shelter's gimmick is that it makes itself the safest place in the world.
I'm guessing it's referencing probably nuclear apocalypse happen on Earth.
Something like that, yeah. But its mechanics are that whoever is inside cannot take damage and slowly regenerates. Every 30 seconds, another anomaly has an instant meltdown.
Oh. Okay.
It makes itself the safest place on Earth.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, but for the purposes of keeping it from melting down, and all it would do is just sap a bit of energy if it melted down all the way. I just have someone step in and then immediately leave before the consequences can catch up.
So if you just need a top off, you just went in there for a quick second.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't get any energy from using it, but if I need to keep it from melting down, I just use it for a quick second. Anyways, more Snow Queen work! Though double checking, you haven't, you have no ice shard. Because I don't trust they'd be able to actually get anybody out if they got trapped. Oh hey, Punching Bird escaped again. I wonder who is going off to peck. Oh. I have been doing that work wrong. It looks like these got shuffled. Alright, we'll work with the child for a bit, figure out what's what. Okay, so those two were switched. Normally you don't have all these things happening that are making working with your facility worse than it needs to be. It's just because of the final sequence. There's a lot of extra modifiers making everything worse. But such is life.
The good boy shop.
Oh boy, time to become an even gooder boy.
Even gooder boy. His block is worth 15 souls. Especially when my guy is, your points of blocks refresh before entering a boss fight.
Oh yes.
Indulgences. Yep, that's what that room is indulgences.
Yes.
The Catholics won, they had their way.
Of course, this is a very odd heaven where might apparently makes right.
Yeah, that's true. Can't go in there. I guess not. It's definitely a very dualistic heaven. Where you got... And then you have the one thing that is neither. It's like a shonen. Actually, no, it's like a... Who's that character on that one anime? It's a shonen anime. His name's like Guy. It has the Kamara arc. Hunter x Hunter. Where he's like, he doesn't care. He's like neither good or bad kind of thing.
I haven't actually watched Hunter x Hunter, so I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the one who watches most of the anime.
Okay. There's a few. I'm literally
Yes.
I'm going through One Piece, which is like
Oh my gosh, One Piece is super long. I'm so sorry that you're trying to go through it.
well, that's why I said it's called One Piece. It's literally a group that splices all the fillers out.
Oh,
It's really nice.
that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like I should probably double check to make sure he hasn't gotten impaled. Yeah, nope, he's still fine. That being said, the no healing thing is definitely all mine, and his sanity is slowly wearing down.
Ooh.
Speaking of which, I don't think I can really have Kamel do more tree work until the next meltdown. Because the one benefit of the no healing modifier is that each meltdown everybody gets a full heal.
Hmm.
It's still definitely a drawback because a full heal's not that hard to get normally.
Hmm.
You just chill out in a lobby for a bit, or in a hallway, but at half speed.
Hmm.
But
So you guys is naturally heal anyways. Is that what you're saying?
yes, but only after you've gone only after you've completed certain story objectives. Before then, they only heal in the main rooms.
Hmm.
Well, actually, it's not even going to hit half sanity before the next tick. Because it looks like I've only got one operation left before something melts down again. You have a lot of block.
Yeah.
Also, King Goose is taking a lot of damage from those shots.
Mm-hmm. I have 200% crush damage right now, so he's taking double the top end amount of damage. And then with this, so when he takes so many ticks, he does triple the amount of damage to him.
Alright. Okay, so Swan. Shoot, I'm trying to remember what. Yeah. Okay, Swan and Crumbling Armor, that's not bad. That being said, I'm a bit nervous about Crumbling Armor because I'm not confident that my things didn't get shuffled on me again.
Mm.
And Crumbling Armor, well, normally a pretty easy one to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or at least not terribly dangerous one to work with for the most part. Yeah, does give a permanent modifier that not all employees are going to want if you do repression work, and will just kill anyone who tries to do attachment work.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm first going to fire off yet another quick work with the... I'm glad I checked! Okay. So... Actually, you know what? So... Okay, so... White... Oh yeah, he's highly resistant to white, so even if this turns out to be a bad idea, won't be that bad an idea. Okay. Okay. So, tell them to do attachment work. They'll actually do instinct work, which should be fine.
Oh. Yes. Emblem of Bahamut. 20% increased damage depending on how good your alignment is. So the
And-
flat will 100%.
Add the bonus.
down.
Add the bonus doubles against dragons. So, want to see if you can find that Dragon Slayer armor set?
Little too
Make
late.
it so everything counts as a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The-
All right.
The shops decided to bless me with such a set. Yes.
Okay. So we're just about done now. Double checking they're not doing that dumb that'll get us screwed over at the final like work or two. Not. Chocolate. Not my favorite in this game.
Hello.
Hello, Justin.
Hello. Hello, Houston.
How's everyone doing?
Doing all right.
Very well.
I am once again trying to push through the final days to complete the Seed of Light and see what happens.
Woo!
Oh come on, that bar's so close to full.
Did you have to restart again?
No, I only had to. I mean, technically, I did 2 new restarts from day 1, but only one that was actually deep into the game. The other one was basically just me deliberately grabbing some of the anomalies that are particularly nasty, getting their getting their various unlocks and and codex entries, and then doing another restart.
Mm.
Right.
All right, Charlie, dip in 4 minutes, my friend.
So, the second iteration did not last long,
Yeah.
because I did not want to have White Knight in any serious attempt.
White Knight?
White Knight, he it's the Antichrist. It's the Antichrist in the box, and it's about as troublesome as it sounds.
Oh.
In a box.
Yeah, that sounds troublesome.
Okay, so over the course of a couple days while you have him in containment, he will choose 12 of your employees as his apostles.
Well,
Yep. Once he has chosen his 12th, he will do his first breakout. This will turn all 12 of them into very deadly opponents called apostles. Very deadly. Every single one of them has the potential to do an instant kill attack. They're very troublesome.
oh my.
And he'll appear in some main chamber of the facility. 2 of the apostles will stay in the chamber to guard him. The other 10 will wander about the facility, killing everyone they find.
Jeez, that's
should you-
just an immediate annihilation.
Should you manage to kill any of his apostles, it doesn't matter, because periodically he will release a wave that does pale damage to everyone in the facility, and on top of that, revives all his apostles.
Oh my. Yeah,
He also-
he's just a
He also has
lead-
the second most health of all non-invincible opponents in the game.
So yeah, he is just a lose condition.
Just about. I did defeat him, and as such, I got some very nice armor and weapons out of it.
How do you beat him?
Figured out the
Pain and
timing of.
suffering.
After several attempts, I figured out the timing of how his apostles fight, and so I basically had a firing squad of dudes running back and forth across the chamber, ducking and weaving as they slowly pelted him down with bullets. I actually didn't lose anybody that time.
All right, so now, David, you have all that crushing hits. I picked up some myths that make your ruthless hits or crushing hits and vice versa.
Oh no! So all your attacks are ruthless! I forget, what does ruthless do? Double damage?
I think so. Yeah, 1% more top end damage, and crushing hits, you're guaranteed to roll top end damage.
Ah. Well. This is slightly bloody.
I'm guessing your current mission is one where it's don't have the UI, more or less.
Well, a couple other complications, yes. I believe, yeah, I think I've met my energy quota, and I guess I'm currently on Meltdown 6, so I just gotta get that bar to fill up. I'm just going to keep working with the queen here. She's safe. I don't want to screw this day up in the final stretch.
Okay, which one to get rid of? We'll get rid of Harmony.
Oh crap. I completely forgot about Parasite Tree. Hasn't become a critical issue yet, but
It's
4
Marionette.
Yep, 4 out of 5 of its fruits have, well, fruited. Was forgetting something. Just glad I noticed before it was catastrophic.
Yeah.
So one of the random tomes, you know how I picked up Glass Cannon? At the very end of
Yeah.
the game, I picked up Natural Burden. So I get no more stats, which doesn't matter because I'm full max level. But now my penalties from equip and load are reversed.
Oh,
Nope. It's
Are
time
you
for us
sure
to
it's
go.
no more stats from that point, or you just don't gain stats?
I don't gain stats
points
I don't gain stat points at all.
Okay. So, rip if you were stacking high in scaling.
Well, there's no more stacking at this point.
no, I mean like, if at all, if you had like 50 intelligence, then it's effectively 0.
Is Jason just got here?
Right?
depend on the ability's
Oh,
wording.
It's just something.
Yeah,
that
I think
asked
it's
beforehand.
dependent,
We can
but
try.
I don't think he knows the difference. Corey. Okay.
Fortunately, it looks like one of the people who got mind whammy by the tree was just a clerk, so I was able to execute them and get a little bit more breathing room again. I'm a good employer. Employees can't complain.
Not when they're dead.
Alright, day complete. We out. Okay. Now for the next day of pain and trouble. Okay, so right. I specifically need to get that map. Nope.
Oh, you can re-roll it multiple times. Is that like because you're on the very end, you're able to keep re-rolling?
Yep. Oh, I'm an idiot. I just re-rolled away the one that I wanted. Because there's exactly one missing thing in the codex. There it is. Alright. Oh, I guess I need a second one.
But yeah,
Flip S.
were you always able to infinitely re-roll when you get?
No. Initially, you can't re-roll at all. You gotta just choose one of the 3. Then you get the ability to re-roll once, and then eventually... yeah, no, I don't want any of those.
Okay, that's what I was curious about because I noticed that like the last time I was watching, you could only reroll once, and now you're rerolling a lot. So
Yeah, I guess I could do Porcabus. It's not that dangerous. Yeah, sure. Definitely not White Knight. There's no way I'm going to accept having the Antichrist in my facility this late in the game. I usually don't see very much of Bahamut's moveset. So, I'm going to be going through something that might be more than slightly spoilerific if any of you intend to eventually play this game. But
no worries on my end. There's actually been a couple games where I got little spoilers at the end, and I actually was more curious to actually play through that because of it. Depends on how well it's written.
Oh, that's so funny. I've been muted this whole time talking.
I see.
Rip.
So, from what I understand right, I have done everything that I could do in this game right now until the new DLC comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, you got all the. Yeah.
Like I love. Oh wait, tier 8 achievement or objective unlocking the sealed get to the abyss. And the next expansion not available yet. Yep, and text right there. That was fun. Like I was really slamming my face against Sender 16, and it wasn't clicking until it did. And then like yesterday and today, I beat it twice now.
Nice.
Without cheese. The other times don't count. Oos.
Well, the cheese falls into your lab.
Yeah, but at that point, it's not very much skill that did it. It's
Well, that too.
cheese
is
on your
true.
lap. All right. So tomorrow, if you guys want to do some Elden Ring, I have.
I don't know if David.
I mean, I don't know what the situation is going to be like tomorrow, so
Yeah.
I'm hesitant to promise for that in advance.
Today's Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I
You
mean,
were
if you're
thinking
going
it
to,
was Thursday, weren't you?
if you're
No, I
wanting to
think
do
today's
Elden Ring,
Wednesday. Yeah. Well, I know Logan was wanting to do Elden Ring, and that's when my head was so deep into Tiny Rugs that I was not seeing the light of day. Be able to move on to something else.
Right.
But yeah, was there another game? Oh yeah, there's that. So when I'm not, what's that game called? Ultra Kill. I'm gonna install that. So on Thursday, so tomorrow, if you guys aren't on for Elden Ring, then I'll do some Ultra Kill. Give that game a try. Especially since
heard good things about that.
Usin also got it for me like 3 years ago now. I didn't even.
And
I
I
forgot.
wasn't even upset about it, but I just was like, "Oh yeah, I gave that to you," and you was like, "Oh, what?"
It was probably during a moment when I was just so whatever, just caught up in a lot whatever I was doing that I said thank you for the gift and like completely spaced out, lost thought about it. Like a Marvel Midnight Sun.
Did you like that game?
I love that game, but it certainly has gifted to someone else in this chat.
Yeah. Okay. And so we
Alright.
continue to
Oh.
day 48.
I'll watch. So we'll be dipping in 16 minutes. Got extended because the Jason joined us late.
Okay, so day 48. For this one that's coming up, there's pretty much two things that happen. For the first half of the day, I will be working around various damage types, growing stronger or weaker. This is troublesome for obvious reasons, because it's a very, very large hike of damage. And that means that any anomalies that do that damage type are very risky to work with. Anyway, I have a new slot open, and nobody to put in there who's trained up. So it's time to take advantage of the ability to just throw money at the problem to hire someone. And since you guys are here, help me customize them! Alright, so we can change what their hair looks like and what their face looks like.
And that's just for looks. It does not do anything.
It's just looks.
Okay.
So what's this one gonna be geared for then?
Equipment-wise, probably just whatever stuff I've got laying around. I've got a couple WoW tier stuff. One step down from the best, but...
So you don't have any specific plans for what they're focused on?
No, what they're here for is to fill that slot.
Don't you always love it when ads like purposely do such a terrible job? Like
So as to make you annoyed.
Yeah, they make you annoyed. Like a terrible job at some sort of game that they're trying to advertise you, so you're like...
That's actually like legitimately part of the marketing.
Oh,
I know.
I know.
And it's grating. Yes, perfect.
There we go.
Pierre.
Alright, let's put you in there, and let's figure out what gear we're sticking you in.
Well, hello there, gear.
Yeah, I've already got all of my high tier stuff allocated. But my... You're still quite high tier, but not top tier stuff. I've got a bit laying around. Feathers of Honor, some Moonlight. Oh, a Moonlight. I mean, Moonlight's a generally safe one. No weaknesses. And good stats all around. Well, other than Pale. It doesn't handle Pale well.
Do you have like at least one or two people who can handle Pale well?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see.
Uwin with the Twilight, where it does pretty well at it. Angel and Joelle will at least stand a chance. Justica's not as good as Twilight, because Twilight has additional benefits hidden away in the details.
So
But-
you have played with these people so long enough where you know their strengths and weaknesses pretty well.
At least the characters I've heavily invested in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mouse here is definitely the one who would be best off dealing with the Pale threat. Or just about any threat, really.
How many
She's
Pale
very strong.
threats do you currently have to deal with?
Today I am expecting one, but it's a pretty big one.
So I'm guessing at least 2 people good at it, which I'm sounding like you do.
Well, the issue is, today I'm fighting the Red Mist. And well, I've got her first couple phases solved. I've yet to find a good solution to her final attack. Where when she enters her final phase, she will howl to the heavens and then choose somebody, a random person in the facility. She will then chase them down at extremely high speeds, slaughtering anybody in the way.
Oh.
And will kill whoever she reaches, whoever her target is, very dead when she reaches them. Supposedly she'll give up the chase if it takes her more than 20 seconds. But she's fast enough. I don't know how you could stay away from her for 20 seconds.
You'd have to make some sort of a maze, but
I can't modify the shape of my facility. It always has the specific layout that it does. Anyways, yeah, sure, let's give you heaven.
is there any way to influence what she goes after, though?
To
At
my
all.
knowledge, no.
Hmm.
I don't know. I guess it's possible that if they're doing work at the time. I may need to do an experiment. It's going to mean sending a lot of people home, which sucks because that means losing the various continuing service benefits for most of the people. Which, I mean, they're pretty nice. Like, control team people get increased move speed for having been in control team for a while and all that jazz. But if I trim down the employees in the facility for today enough that I could have everybody duck, well, everybody but say Mouse, duck into work just before the final part of the fight starts, and I could definitely force her out of her last bit of health while everybody's hiding away, either sneaking Little Red or the rabbits, or hell, I could even hire the marksman to just fire off a couple shots. It's normally not worth it, but it would work in this case. And then hope that everybody just hiding away in work causes the attack to fizzle. Don't know if that worked, but I mean, hey, if that does work, that means I finally have a way to not lose anyone to the Red Mist.
Or at least limit the losses.
Oh, if this works, it would mean no losses, because
Sure.
as I mentioned, I've figured out how to deal with the rest of this fight. It's just that one stinking attack. Okay, well. Let's see. You can drop Canal and Brooke. Do want to keep these three. And honestly, I don't need to get rid of everyone. I do have quite a lot of anomalies, so I've got room for people to duck in, but we'll want to thin things down a lot for this. A bit of a skeleton crew. Yeah, let's keep Joshua.
That does kind of sound like a curveball, this sort of thing, that like a major event could push on you is having less people doing stuff is better per day.
Mm-hmm. Just stinks because of the aforementioned cost of not getting to, well, having a bunch of people lose the stats they get from having been in any given team a long time.
Right.
But it's a loss I could handle if I needed to. Yeah, I want to keep those two. Kamel is someone I want to keep in the squad. Actually, she's got an off-level weapon. Let's keep her in play. Yeah, that'll do. And we're keeping everyone in welfare because welfare squad's kind of my troubleshooters. My best combatants there. I need to have somebody in training team, I believe. Chloe, you can hold down the fort there. Okay, here we go. Alright, so pale and white damage will hurt a lot. I can still kind of cheat this because good old Owen here heals from white damage, so
Interesting.
yeah. Actually, I might need to have Owen babysit the parasite tree, because, Okay, however, black damage is safe, so, Chloe, you can work with that. And, here, Owen. Mentally scar yourself a bit with Censored. red damage is also acceptable, so...
All right, hey, Charlie, dip in 6 minutes, my friend.
Right. Working with red does red damage, so that one's also safe. With this few employees, I can't really afford to get people locked in with the Child of the Galaxy, so... Okay, since I don't actually need to reach energy quota today, I can do a lot of work with just get very low tier anomalies that won't produce much energy, but also won't be much of a problem. Yeah, great. Actually, the odds on that one work out pretty well. So, Gabriel, go ahead and work with Alarine. And black and white are the safe elements today. Oh, reminds me. I'm going to want to get Mouse. Get the stat ups that will make her that much harder to kill. But I'm debating whether or not I want to get her the Night of Despair's blessing. Because on one hand, they'll make her much more resistant to most of what the Red Mist does. On the other hand, Red Mist's final attack does have a pale portion. And I'm not sure if she'd survive if she ate multiplied pale. No, she would. Because... Oh crap. She actually hit 200. I knew she was tough, but... Huh.
Why?
That actually tells me a lot about the previous event. Apparently, that last one is a minus 50 to all stats. Oh shoot, I totally forgot. I have research I need to do. Well, she's about as safe a worker as I could possibly send to do that. So, Mouse, tell me about this apple that we have in storage. just so I make sure I don't do something dumb.
Jackie,
Yep, they gotta do fighty stuff.
you're here.
Okay.
Oh god.
The result's normal.
I'm
It gets
not out.
upset when it's bad. It gets upset often. Okay, fair enough.
All right, charts. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. You guys
All right,
Later.
see ya.
Yep.